Well, good morning again.
Morning.
Here I am again. I'd like to welcome all of you to the annual service that honors those who were born before. And actually, born before is the literal meaning of sensei. Although today we use the term sensei to mean teacher, but there is a connection. Today's service is called Eitaikyo, and I am humbled, very humbled, to have been asked by Reverend Harada to deliver the Dharma message to you, the Vista Buddhist Temple Sangha. Perhaps it was just by default, because most of OCBC's ministerial staff and minister assistant staff are away. Reverend John Turner and his wife Linda are at the Denver Sangha this weekend. Sensei Ellen Crane is in Kyoto, and when she returns, she'll be Reverend Ellen Crane. She's there for ordination. Jim and Janice, the other two minister assistants who would probably be here if they were here, are also in Japan on a 3-week vacation and holiday. So just call me the floating defaulter. Because they kind of go down in a hierarchy, and then I'm kind of at the bottom, so when everybody else can't do it, oh, Ron, can you? But I'm very honored and very humbled to be here this morning. So for those of us who, like me, are sometimes other culture challenged, Eitaikyo means, and as our chairperson told you this morning, perpetual transmission of the Buddhist teachings in the form and ritual of chanting. Eitai, E-I-T-A-I, means perpetual. Kyo, K-Y-O, refers to sutras or chanting. This morning our opening chant was the Sambujo, which translates as the 3 respectful callings. And in the first line we welcome Amida Buddha, and in the second line, Shakyamuni Buddha. And the third line, it's Buddhas from all places, all over. And not only just Buddhas as Buddhas, but all past developed followers of Buddha. We welcome them into our temple. Now, as I reflected on today's observance, I understand the original twofold motivation of the disciples of Buddha. One was to perpetuate the Dharma from generation to generation. And the second was to establish a monetary means of temple preservation. And our chairperson, Sandy, also explained that part of it to you. But is it that simple? Is it really, really that simple? What meaning does Eitaikyo have for us today, November 4th, 2018? A question: what kind of gift? What kind of gift can I leave for my Sangha, my loved ones? Well, there's money and material things. They add comfort and status to our lives. But money and material things do not solve the one basic issue that concerns all of us, whether we belong to a Buddhist tradition or not. And that is the basic issue of suffering. How to find contentment that endures regardless of changes in the circumstances of our lives. Dissatisfaction, impermanence, and lack of an enduring self. Those are the 3 traits that characterize the worldview of Buddhism. Dissatisfaction, impermanence, and lack of an enduring self. Now we could reason or justify lack of self, or in Buddhist terminology, no self, as one of the many realities of impermanence. And dissatisfaction is simply the experience of impermanence. And so what it all comes down to is impermanence. And impermanence is most uncomfortable when we realize that it is our loved ones whom we find to be impermanent. And we may ask, why is this so? And the answer is, it is because of love. For without love, there would be no pain in the loss of our human connections. Parents, spouses, daughters and sons, friends and teachers. We grieve and suffer for what we love, and then we lose. But we know we can free ourselves from this pain. How? We can just simply stop loving. But we choose not to. We remain in our world of love and loss. We may not understand why. We just simply live, we love, we lose, we grieve, and we remember. The devout Shin Buddhist and poet Isa expresses this in a beautiful haiku, one of my favorites, well known, I'm sure all of you know it. He wrote it just after the loss of his young daughter. This dewdrop world may be a dewdrop world. So it is, and yet. Isa was, of course, very aware of the inherent reality and the universal application of impermanence. Yet he still feels and expresses the pain of loss. And even though we live in a dewdrop world, we can aspire to become more than just dewdrops. We can make the effort to appreciate and remember those who have gone away, ahead or before us, as our senseis, as our teachers who stay in our memories, always teaching us how to become true and authentic persons. And their influence lasts, one could say, perpetually, because what we have learned from them we pass on to the next generation, and following generations carry forward those teachings as long as humanity and our planet endures. Hence the meaning and the reasoning for Eitaikyo. Earlier, I asked, what kind of gift can I leave for my Sangha? I think by now you might know the answer. For unlike money and material things, which by nature are acquired and therefore impermanent, we all have a gift, freely given to us, a jewel, a treasure that has been unselfishly shared by past followers of Buddha. The Dharma, created excellent in the beginning, maintained excellent in the middle, and hopefully excellent into the future. And it is the condition of the future that becomes our challenge. Now today's service is just one day out of 365 days. We must keep the Dharma excellent by our practice, not only at temple, but at work and play. We become teachers, embodying the teachings. Let us make every day a perpetual day. Our lives and Dharma become one. And with joy and gratitude, sharing the gift of the Dharma with all sentient beings, not just the person sitting in front of you or next to you, but all sentient beings, animals, pets, every living creature on this beautiful planet. I would like to conclude with 2 questions to think on and perhaps help you to an appreciation for the meaning of today's service, Eitaikyo. First question, do you have any ideas? Do you have any ideas that are your own? Question number 2, what do you know that you have not been taught? What do you know that you have not been taught? We often feel so separated, so isolated, and yet when we practice our practice in silent meditation or in sound, in other words, chanting, or in physical motion, gasho, we all flow together. Like the separate rivers flowing down the mountain, eventually all come into one great ocean. Yonsei, Sensei, Nisei, Issei, we all flow together. Please join me in gasho. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo
Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda.